States with the worst property tax. This is always fun because there's two things you got to look at. The actual tax rate and then the actual money that you pay for the taxes. All right, because if you think about the actual tax rate in of itself, that could be low, a la Hawaii, but the actual amount you pay could be significantly high simply because the values of a house in Hawaii are quite high. So let's dive into this again. As always, from the Tax Foundation, I'll put the PDF in the show notes for your viewing pleasure. Property taxes paid as a percent of owner-occupied home. All right, so the effective tax rate in the U.S. is 1.03. Now, you just can't get, that's just one part of the equation, all right? So if you go to the effective tax rate is 1.03, but then we go down here to the collections per capita is $1,600. So we're just going to use this, the effective tax rate first, then we're going to look at collections per capita. At the end of the day, for retirees who are on a fixed income, no longer getting a salary, and a fixed income doesn't mean it's low. It just means you're not getting a salary anymore, all right? So you're pulling money from your principal, you're pulling money from Social Security, maybe a pension. You might even have a crappy old part-time job. I don't know, but that's what happens. You're pulling money, but it's essentially fixed, if that makes sense. You're really not working to the extent that you were previously. So the percentage, while high or low, is important, but it's the actual dollars that you pay. Hope that makes sense. All right, so the worst states with a property tax, of course, is going to be number one is New Jersey. All right, number one is New Jersey. Number two is Illinois, tied with right there. Look at that. So New Jersey, 2.13% is. I mean, that's everyone should expect that. New Jersey, Illinois, 1.97. New Hampshire, 1.89. Vermont comes in there. I was surprised with that, 1.76. And then Connecticut. So Mary, my friend Mary up in Connecticut, 1.73. So all the northeastern states except for Illinois. Number 6, not to anyone's surprise, well, it should be, is Texas. Number 6 is Texas. Number 7, though, is Nebraska. Check this out. Nebraska is not a very friendly state for retirees. 1.54 in Nebraska. Look at that, man. What was Texas? What did we see? 6, 1.6%. Number 8 was Wisconsin. Look at that. Wisconsin, 1.53. I'm cold out here. Look at D.C. is only 0.58. Surprised by that. Wisconsin, 1.53. Oh, where's your mask? Excuse me. Ohio came in number 9. Thanks, Kasich, you big old clown. Ohio, 1.52. And lastly was Iowa. Isn't that interesting? At 1.43. So the top 10, or the bottom 10, you should say, New Jersey, Illinois, New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, Texas, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Ohio, and Iowa. So all the Northeast and the Midwest, essentially. It's interesting, I thought. Actually, surprised. You would have thought Washington would have been high, but watch, because they got no income tax in Washington. But they're quite on the low end, for sure. Oregon, with no sales tax, was pretty low too. So that's good stuff there. All right. So that's those. How about the ones that you actually pay? How much you actually pay? So if you're on a fixed income, you might want to avoid these. All right. Whew, cold. So New Jersey comes in the highest, of course, because the houses are expensive there and they have the highest property tax. New Jersey. New Hampshire jumps over Illinois for number 2. Now, New Hampshire has no state income tax or sales tax. So the per capita, remember, per capita is per head. All right. So New Jersey has a pretty sizable population. New Hampshire, just barely a million or so. So, Finny! All right, so then we got Connecticut, number 3. So it goes New Jersey, $33.78. New Hampshire's $16 behind at $33.62. Connecticut, $31.07. All right, what's number 4? Let's take a gander. I saw number 4 was where I just passed it. I saw it. Where was it? Right there. New York comes in. So New York it wasn't even the top 10 in property taxes, but it is in the top 4 in total in terms of property tax rates, but it's in the top 4 in property tax dollars. Isn't that interesting? So if you go to New York, their tax rate was 1.3, which puts them at number 14. But the weird thing about that is it's interesting because 3,025 collections per capita. That puts them at number 4. And you think that, I mean, with all the many people in New York, what, 8, 9 million? No, I think it's, 15 million in New York or something like that, because New York City has 8 million. Let me get this dog. All right, so New York wasn't even the top 10, but it is in the top 5 in terms of total tax dollars collected. Number 5 was, where's 5 here? I didn't write this one down, actually. I probably should have. Vermont comes in at number 5. So Vermont was number 2 for number 4 for property tax rate, and it's number 5 for property tax collected. Let's see what else we got. What's number 6? So let's go to 6. Boy, Finnegan, what a knucklehead. I love that dog, but man, Massachusetts comes in at number 6 at $2,500, even though Massachusetts property tax was 18, so they jump up 300% in terms of price. Isn't that interesting? That's Massachusetts. Number 7 is Rhode Island. So again, the northeastern states, because it's more expensive. Those homes are more expensive there. Number 8 would be Illinois. So Illinois is number 2 in total property tax rate, but number 8 in total property tax paid. Finnegan. Number 9 was, let's see. We talked about number 9. All right, one sec. Number 9. That was a 15-minute interlude. It might seem darker behind me. Old Pablo ran away, crawled under the fence. I had to go get him. Big old knucklehead. All right, so let's, I forgot where we left off. So Rhode Island, I think. Rhode Island has $2,400 a year in per capita property tax. Number 8 was what? Illinois. We talked about Illinois. So number 9 was how's a Maine coming in number 9. What? Maine number 9. What the? And then what's number 10? Maine comes in at number 9 at $2,200. Daggum. Janet Mills. Alaska number 10. So let's look at Maine. Property tax rate is 1.2, comes in at number 16. So on the high end, but certainly not the top 10. And Alaska came in at 21 at 0.98. But again, the houses are expensive, these places, and there you go. So look at Alabama, 0.37, amigos. That's fantastic. And we go down to Alabama, you're paying $600 a year per capita property tax. That's freaking awesome. Let's look at Tennessee. $800 here. Kentucky, $845. Louisiana, $900. That is what I'm talking about. Delaware, less than $1,000. North Carolina, $1,000. Oklahoma, $771. New Mexico, $832. Nevada just cracking. Arkansas, $776. Woo, Nella. And then you got Utah, $1,000. So anyway, you see I tell you, Washington ain't bad, man. Oregon, $1,500. So if we go back again to Hawaii was in the top, number 1, only 0.31 in property tax. Look at that. But how much do they actually pay? So we go to Hawaii because the housing, so $1,300. That's not so bad. So they're the number 1 most affordable in percentage wise, but they're in the they're not in the top 30. They're right in the top, the last of the top 20 in terms of affordability from an actual dollar. That still's not bad, $1,300, man. But I mean, my goodness, look at that. Maine, you pay more in property tax per capita than you do in Hawaii. That's nuts. Anyway, good stuff. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you live in one of these states? Of course you do. So like North Dakota, where's South Dakota? I bet, that's 25 right in the middle. What's their property tax rate? In South Dakota, 17, 1.14. So good stuff there. If you got comments in terms of the property tax you pay, what state you live in, what property tax you have, it'd be interesting to find out. Just put in the notes. Thanks now.